as everyone's always trying to figure out why Caitlin Clark is so popular, I think one thing they miss is the simplest answer. She's super exciting to watch on the basketball court. And part of this evolution and explosion in the women's game, one thing we've learned is that you can't just choose who's going to resonate with the fans because Clark wasn't preordained to be the next big thing. She became the next big thing. And since she became the next big thing, a lot of people have been searching for the next big thing, which has included Paige Beckers, Juju Watkins, etc. But so far this college basketball season, it's been Hannah Hidalgo of Notre Dame who's emerged simply because she's been the best and the most exciting player to watch in women's college basketball. And she was on her IG and she did one of those stories where you ask a question, which matchup are you most looking forward to seeing? A bunch of fans obviously responded to that. And in the midst of it, she gave a captioned response to every answer, which were mostly upcoming college basketball showdowns. But one response was this, and you could see her face, you versus CC in the pros. And that was like a look of recognition and appropriate intrigue. And who wouldn't want to see Caitlin Clark and Hannah Hidalgo go head to head in a future WNBA matchup? Anyhow, when we're talking about Hidalgo, again, I think it is just that raw energy and enthusiasm she plays with that brings people in, that gets people excited, that pumps people up, that does the thing that you can't really express easily. It's not like a cut and dry ordeal. It's just, wow, who's that girl? That kind of feeling. And again, she did it with her latest highlights. Let me share them with you here. As if we're going to be talking about her, might as well watch the most recent game, Eastern Michigan, another one of these college basketball games that's not of particular import, but nonetheless. See her with the open floor pass there, finished by Citron. I'm going to pull up, dot your I's. You can hold that. Steal, Paige Becker's called her a pest. You see it right there. She's a pest. And then just a sneaky strong finish, taking the contact and getting the bucket. Nice pass there. Hesitation behind the back, switch back, drop step to the left. Whew, that was pretty. And she's fast too. Sometimes like speed doesn't always, it's not as easily measurable as far as like active speed. She's got such active speed. Look, she draws the defense there, kicks it back out for three. Gets into the teeth of the defense, finishes going to the right. Pull up three, off the catch and shoot. Another steal. There's the pest. Going the other way. Look at this score. Some of these games are ridiculous. Was she still in the game? It's only the third quarter, so it's not a Juju situation right here. Now we're into the fourth. She should probably be out soon. Maybe that's one of the last highlights. Still in here. So, to be fair to Juju and company, she wasn't the only player in a massive blowout. I'm not going to be a hypocrite. Maybe Hannah Hidalgo should have been pulled in that game as well. I guess it's just the nature of the college game when you're playing these teams that are not in your own league, not in your league really at all. But I think the emergence of Hidalgo is one of these stories that is only going to get bigger as the season goes along. It's only going to get bigger because you can't, again, control how the audience is going to react to something. And as more and more fans see her play and more hoops heads see her play, more and more of them are going to push her up to the top and anoint her. And again, right now, I think she's clearly the National Player of the Year favorite. If you're looking at the college basketball landscape, to me, the top three teams at the moment should be, the rankings come out, they shift all the time, but UCLA, South Carolina, and Notre Dame. UCLA obviously has the win over South Carolina. South Carolina only has that loss to UCLA's, looked pretty dominant. Otherwise, Notre Dame may have 2 losses, but they've got 3 wins over top 5 teams, which includes, obviously, UConn most recently, and is part of the reason, and Juju Watkins and USC is part of the reason why Hidalgo is being celebrated in the way that she is. And, I just thought it was amusing. And really, I got excited. Like, when I saw that, Instagram story, it's an exciting the idea of that is exciting because both of them play such an exciting brand of basketball. So, it's almost like that never comes up in these conversations. Now, of course, with Caitlin, it's a whole different animal because it's been co-opted and become this, engagement fuel for right, left, everywhere in between. So, of course, they're not actually just talking about the basketball aspect of it. But I think you're seeing it again, not to the same level because nothing is ever this idea that there's going to be a next Caitlin Clark. There's never going to be a next Caitlin Clark in the sense of what we just saw from Caitlin Clark as far as changing the landscape of the sport and becoming this lightning rod of conversation despite not being polarizing or controversial herself. But we will see more basketball players down the pipeline. They will get more attention going forward, just like every woman I think I've talked about in this video has gotten more attention than they would have otherwise. Flau'jae is another one who I'm a big fan of. Haven't mentioned yet. Flau'jae and Paige with the Unrivaled deals. Juju's now an investor in Unrivaled. So they're getting their shine and they're getting a lot of attention, but it's another example of how these things are not preordained. They're not decided beforehand. It's not the media that's doing it. It's not the media that has the power to make that happen. Yes, Juju and Paige are bigger stars because of the media, but the audience is ultimately going to decide which player they like watching the most, which player they think is the best, and that is going to be the player that captures people's imagination. And that's going to start on the court. Everything else is a part of it after the fact, but it's going to start on the court because if it doesn't start on the court, there's no beginning. There's no basis. It's not organic, I guess, is what I'm saying. And I think Hannah Hidalgo's rise this season with Notre Dame has been very organic. And she's the talk of every major game she plays in because she stands out playing against her peers. Pretty simple formula.